What is up, my fellow sackers? I have Harrison Jeong here. Got 9 at the Ultimate Time Wizard event. You went X11.
I tried.
You were X01 till last round, right?
Yeah, little big misplay at the end, but we take those, we learn from them, and you know, that's the whole reason why I came here, is because I played at RPTLA and I made a handful of mistakes, and I noticed, I think almost immediately after my matches, that they led to direct losses. So my purpose of coming here was not only to have fun with my friends, shout out Jacob and Matt, but also to, you know, try and build on those mistakes, because I think as you get to the top levels, even like half a percentage of like knowledge can make the biggest difference. So just trying to get there, you know.
And I just want to like preface this with this guy. I met this guy today, or this tournament, and he was like, yeah, I normally don't enter tournaments because I get too anxious. I don't even queue up DB because I get too anxious. But I'm just playing this tournament because my friends are here. And he was X01, he was table 1 last round of Swiss, so this guy's killing it. And where are you playing?
I'm playing Blackwings, everyone's favorite, and I mean, it's my favorite. I played it for 14 years, or for a long time. So
yeah, and your deck is pretty nice looking, because I'm assuming you have all the cards from back then. Is that why?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go back to some OGs like this Blizzard. I might go back to the rare. So
yeah, all right. Yeah. You have any shout outs you want to get all the way before we start?
Yeah. So shout out Jacob and Matt, the crew that I came here with. What Yu-Gi-Oh, Jared, Ted, Kevin. They're not here. Jordan, but you know, shout out you guys all for like always being there. Everyone I met, including you. I want to insert like the Kobo meme, because you play Smash, like, oh, it's Eric. I can call him Eric because, you know, I met him. But yeah, everyone here has been super friendly, and like almost, or actually all my opponents were, you know, very friendly. So shout out to everyone for being so nice and making this weekend like really great, even though I have a lot of pain to take away. But yeah, we'll build on it.
All right. Let's start then, sir.
All right. So I think the monster lineup's gonna be super standard. So 3 Blizzards, 3 Boras. Actually, some people play 2 and 2, and I respectfully disagree. I think the monster count is very important. We were talking about this before, but I think this deck plays kind of like a mid-range deck, so you really need to maximize your monsters, and the Blackwings are really important, especially for game 1. What you do games 2 and 3 is up to you, and everyone has player preference. But yeah, Gale, my favorite Blackwing, the GOAT. 3 Kalutes, everyone's favorite or least favorite. 3 Shuras, and 3 Sirocco. So actually, I'll leave this here for a bit, and something I want to talk about is that I've been talking about with Eric and a lot of other Blackwing players and players is learning like how to sequence when you're playing this guy, and Bora, your 3 big guys. Because I think these decisions, while they seem really small and microscopic, they can have really big changes to how the game state flows. And you know, like you can look at a turn as a turn, but it really goes downstream, and these choices can really affect you in your late game. So I think I'm still learning how to do it too, when each guy should be coming out. And of course, you can't read everything, but you got to try your best to justify it. So
real quick, this guy lost last round of Swiss. He mentioned earlier because of a misplay, and I just want to bring up the salt in the wound. But
no, do you want to explain it, or
all you, man?
So this was the board with opponent's Black Whirlwind, and I don't know if I topped it or had it, but basically he was at 4K, and this is game in itself. He had a Kalute and I had a Kalute, so this is a direct game. But in my mind, I counted this as 3,800, so I was like, okay, if I attack here and negate Kalutes, he still has this pump, and I'm going to be left with a really bad board, so I should hit over this. And that's how I didn't make top 8, but, you know, it's sad, and everyone has the right to be mad at me.
The brain fart is so unfortunate there.
I'll be better trained, both, I think, you know, mentally, physically, and everything. So
but it's awesome that the deck didn't fail you. You know,
I failed me. You know,
so the list is good.
I think it's better that way, when, you know, it's you don't just go like, oh, I got sacked.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time, I mean, sometimes you get sacked, but yeah. 2 values.
You like 2?
Yes, I like 2. Going into RBT LA, that was the first time I played in about a year. So I basically was like, I'm going to take someone's list who has a proven list and did well with it and start working with it. And that was Chofil. So actually another shout out would be Chofil, because he gave me the building block and was really helpful in advice. So I thanked him a lot, and thank you here again. I think 2 is really important because it gives you a little versatility with Shura and also just other plays. Especially one really important thing is a lot of people will do chain link 1 Blizzard, chain link 2 Whirlwind to play around oppression, but I think it's also important to go the other way around. And I actually noticed a lot of my opponents went the other way around because it doesn't play around torrential. And I think that's something that's really important to think about. So a lot of the plays that I made this weekend with Blizzard Whirlwind. I usually actually try to sequence the other way, especially when you're playing against like Blackwings or like something like that, because or like Value Turbo or other decks, because more likely than not it'll be torrential. So but yeah, 2 values I like, and then you can side one out. I can talk about that later, I guess. Dad and boards, I think this is probably like the most like spiciest thing. Dad standard.
What about this?
So I wanted to play this at LA, but someone said it was mid, and it very well can be. But my thought process is, in this deck, when you fall behind to certain things like big boards or big guys, there's a really bad comeback potential. And yes, this is a one-off, but this is probably the best comeback potential. And if you can have that one card to swing you back, and you can stabilize the board, because once this deck can stabilize, it can get really strong again. But sometimes the biggest problem is stabilizing. So
I'm scared now because this card is becoming more popular in Blackwing, and I feel like most people disrespect it against Blackwing because they just think like they don't play it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do think that way. And when I was looking at lists this weekend, I looked a lot on the flight here. I think it was maybe like 25-75 boards, no boards. So I think maybe
like 25% play
boards. Yeah, a lot probably aren't, but. Yeah, I think it's also a personal preference, because
this was good for you.
It was really good for me. Saved me.
Against Feng Shui, against Daniel Lomartino.
It saved me against him. It saved me in at least another match as well. So,
dude, that play was crazy.
Also, I met a lot of goats.
He had Thought Ruler, Card Trooper, and he knew your back row wasn't Mirror Force, so he attacked with Thought Ruler first.
Yeah.
And then you defrizzed Thought Ruler, he negates, and you drop cores. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's cooking.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was. I recognized like it was a must at that point, and like I'm gonna lose the defrizzing, but this is my only way. And again, I think that's a big thing. Is like, Icarus targets, defrizzing targets, and if the thought like things like that are already out, this helps so much. So I'm probably gonna continue playing this. The other thing I might consider is Road in the main in the future, because I'm an Oompa Boompa player. I love setting shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I think it just gives me a little comfort, but at the same time, maybe I won't, because I think it makes me play a little smarter. So 50-50. But yeah, main count monster 20. I think most lists are on 18 or 19, but yeah, I'm on 20. Spells are super standard. I guess one note is no book. Because I personally don't like book. I think the best thing it does is with Shura. So like. I think
you cite it out against so many matchups.
Yeah, so these 6 are really good, and the only card that's really coming out usually of this side is Heavy Storm. I think some people say Brain Control isn't good in some matchups, but it's
who says that?
I don't remember who
says that.
I don't remember who.
Call him out.
I don't remember. I really don't remember who. But I think like Amaryllis is one.
Amaryllis.
But I think I still feel like it has good things to do, so I just keep it in.
Brain Control's too good. That guy's crazy.
And then so traps, 2 bottomless and 2 prison. This is pretty standard. I guess some people are playing 3. I think 2 gets a little more flexibility for other things, and I think that's really important after having played. I think again, shout out Phil in making this list, because so many of his choices after playing this deck a lot make more and more sense. So
you think really the 2 prison is better than 3 then?
I think so, because especially in the current meta, having the flexibility for other things like Yada. Really important. I guess I can talk about that in a bit when I get to Yada. So 3 Icarus, I think some people say they play 2, and I think this is just one of the strongest cards in the like format and the deck. So I used to side out 1 a lot, and I think I am starting to, and I like 2 when I play deck dev, but just because less tributing cards in your monster is so important.
You side 1 out when you think they bring in Starlight?
It depends on the matchup, because sometimes I think you can still kind of like work your way around it. But it's really hard to like not take or to take 1 out sometimes, just because it's that good.
Right. Yep. Yeah. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, but I do take it out when I put in the deck though. So 2 Yadas, and I think this is probably like one talking point. So I was not a believer in Yada. Just because my thought process was, why would I play this when I can play real cards that do real things?
Yeah.
But in this current like Edison state, not just like meta, but Edison now in general, where we're at, players I think are too smart to kind of recognize different, like cards and what you might have. So having things that can not only like bluff spots, but also help you out, because in this deck especially, you can draw certain things. You can draw Pollute, you can draw boards, but you can also on your turn you can draw other cards that help make your play stronger. So
were you getting +1s off MST heavy on this guy?
I did get a couple +1s, yes. That's so this guy is really worth it. And there was, I don't remember if I won the game, but against the Hero Frog, one of the most tilting things that happens to me is when when Ocean gets Stratos back, and I'm like, this game is so cooked, but And shout outs to Matt for this because he told me not to get so tilted by it because it's not the worst thing. I had an oppression in a Yada set, so I just let it fly, let the shadows fly. I popped the Yada, and I didn't get the draw, but it saves the oppression. So sometimes you, I think, have to learn to take the -1, and that's okay. Like even with Icarus, actually, like you're not always gonna get the +1, and that's okay.
Right.
I think you also need to learn like when to just take the value.
Did you ever get to like they attack you, use Yada, and then drop Gores? That ever happened? That happened?
Yes.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So it did happen a couple times. So yeah, I didn't draw into it, but I did have it. So definitely helped. Rest is standard, I guess. Some lists are playing no oppression in the main and 2 side, but I think the main reasoning, and I don't think anyone can ever really be wrong in saying 0 or 1 in the main. I think the only wrong thing is playing 2.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on what event you come into, and it's at the end of the day, it's just going to be a medical.
So you picked 1?
Yeah, I just picked 1 because I guess I expected a lot of the big 3, and because Frogs is the weakest of the big 3 probably.
You were thinking of 2, is what you're saying?
No. I was thinking of none.
Right.
So
but because of Frogs, you put in 1.
So otherwise, it would have been either the 3rd Yada or Dust Tornado. Yeah.
Did you keep this? Like, did you play against a lot of oppression? Like decks that are good against that?
Yeah. Actually, I did. I round 5 or 6, I actually used a game 1 against a Sork value turbo, so that actually helped a lot.
Dang.
So it was major value. And I used it against, I think, Quick Draw, and then a couple other matchups. So, yeah, for sure the 1 helped. And then going into 2 helps just to draw.
Yep. Did you play against GBs? There are a lot of GBs.
I did not. And part of me is glad, but part of me kind of wishes I did because I don't know how to play around like all the traps because like traps on road and stuff. So I need to get some reps in, and I'll probably get some in eventually. So yeah, 40 cards. This looks fat, and a lot of people ask me, but it's just double sleeve. But I might use Pristine Protection soon. Hashtag.
Oh my goodness.
Use Sacker 10 for your discount. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
This guy.
So just tokens here. YCS LA for the 250. And then. I try not to show this. I should probably do it this way because it shows that I might be playing Blackwings. So extra deck is Chimera Tech because Cyber's in the side. The 5s are standard. 6s are standard. Yeah, nothing to say here.
Okay.
I think 7s are standard, and I think someone, I forget who said it, but it's really, really good. Armor Masters should scale with the number of values you play. So
right, you play 2.
1 value, 1 Armor Master. 2 values, 2 Armor Masters. If you play 3,
that's a good. Yeah,
maybe
I like
consider
that.
3, but 2 is still good. You like.
Yeah.
And then the 8s are also standard. I made this 1 game against Juan. Shout out Juan Swag, aka Swagger, aka the GOAT, aka Juan and Swagger. I misplayed because I thought dude misses timing if you do this, but it doesn't. So don't be like me. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, don't be an idiot.
It doesn't miss timing.
Simultaneous.
Yeah. Today I learned, or yesterday I learned. So yeah, extra decks.
Real
really
quick, I love the what you said about the value per Armor Master.
Yeah.
Did Mistworm? Do you ever miss Mistworm?
So when I first came back to Edison in like 2022, I did have it, but then it just doesn't come up that frequently. So I don't know. I personally
did second Armor Master come up this week?
Yeah, for
Nice,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, so it does come up. Side deck I think is really standard as well. So I think this is very standard at this point. So I guess I'll just show the monsters. So this used to be Soul Release in Phil's list. The reason why I switched to Crow is because it just feels a little more versatile, and I think Soul Release isn't, you have to also think of like when you're topping things, and this at least has some synergy with Icarus, with if you need to feel dark. So DD Crow I think just has a little more versatility, and I think it also has a lot more tempo swings because you can hit it on their turn. So I hit an Avarice, and that was game breaking. So yeah, I think some people were playing 1 Dyna, and I thought about it, but a lot of people were saying you have to play 2 Dyna, it's too good.
Just clogs your normals, but yeah, you got to see it. Sometimes.
So I think in this case, actually, you can consider taking out maybe like a Aura if you want, but like I still keep most of the monsters in usually.
Yep.
I think most of the times I'm signing out. So Phil says usually only side out if anything 1 value against matchups where it's really hard to get value of Shura. Hero beat and things it's bad against, so like GBs, stuff like that. So
then you put the fossil dino over the ice.
Or you're not maybe you might not even put the dino in, but like just taking out value.
Gotcha.
And shout out Nelson. He said in the Blackwing mirror, if you go second, he likes putting 1 of these in and taking out a Bora, because Bora, even though it has Wing Beast synergy and Whirlwind synergy, it's by far the worst Blackwing in that matchup. So that makes a lot of sense. And I learned something really.
You don't put in both Cybers going second against Blackwing, just the 1?
I used to, but I think it I've liked it less and less, along with a couple other things. So just because I think the Blackwings are just honestly so much more fun. So those are monsters. One Mind and One Nobleman.
I love this.
Yes. Shout out Keegan for this. I know he's the one who really loves this, and he says this a lot when he analyzes videos with two noblemans. One gives versatility, and sometimes just one comes in. I don't think this is ever coming in by itself. So it's always going to be two or one. So yeah, I don't know how much I use this, but I use this a pretty good amount. So yeah.
Do you sign Mind Control in against? Is there a weird matchup you sign Mind Control in that you don't sign Nobleman in? Like, I don't know if you sign it in the mirror. I don't think that's a thing.
I can't think of anything right now, but there's probably
Bayou, you sign in both, right?
Yes,
yeah,
for sure, both. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think one thing I learned from LA was the sets are actually more detrimental than you think. I think a lot of times people are like, oh, like if Shura hits Raiko, it's going to hit Shura, and that's fine. I'll take the 1-for-1. But sometimes this just has a lot of value, not just because of hitting the things, but also the value you can get out of knowing and potentially banishing or destroying things. So yeah, I think it's good. And I'm probably going to continue playing this now.
Okay, Mind Control is good then.
Yeah, so one deck dev, and I used to play two. A lot of people, I think, play two, and you can't fault them, I think. But I like one because you talk about this, and a lot of good players talk about this. They're siding against deck dev, so you're going to have diminishing returns, and you just kind of have to take it when you get it, and it's going to be good when you get it, and hopefully, and otherwise you just kind of got to play with it. But yeah, one. Also, this is ugly. Don't look at me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to get the ulti. I'm going to get the ulti first soon.
First.
Yeah.
Have to get the first.
2 Dust Tornadoes. So I was on 3 before with main inside, and I really, honestly, that's probably the one thing I miss the most, because in Blackwing matchups, Frazier talks about it a lot, and you do too. This card is like the MVP. So really good. Love it. Gotta love it. 3 pullings because frogs are the toughest matchup, I think. For
you think frogs?
I think so. I don't know. Something about just getting Kais. Actually, I gotta say, I used to think frogs were the toughest matchup, but I didn't realize how low the boss monster count is. With like 3 Kais, 1 Rise, and 1 Maliage, and obviously the 3 miracles, but the miracles require something else. So I don't know. I might go down to 2, but
did you play against frogs this week?
Yes, I played against several.
Okay, so and you want to see Ruggle,
yeah, I did Rug of Shadows, so that was pretty good. It does come in against Machina too, so that's another thing. Second Oppression and then Road. I think this is super straightforward. This one, I don't know how much value it had for me, but I know it has value, so I'm going to continue playing it for now, and we'll see where it goes. You
signed the mirror for sure, right?
Yeah.
Did it resolve this week?
So the thing is, it did, but it's always like when I because I play Torrential, it's like Torrential, Icarus, Road. So it's like it has very minimal value there. So I think if I were to change this, I might even consider the 3rd Dust, because if I'm playing this for Blackwings, I will. But the thing is, this is really good against, like Lightsworns and other stuff too. So and Lightsworns were here too. So, and I guess even GBs, if you think about it, with guys there. So yeah, I think I'm going to continue playing this.
Okay.
Sorry it took so long, but
what? No, bro, you're good. Any closing thoughts?
I'm sorry to SoCal. I'm sorry to New York. I'm sorry to Hawaii. I'm sorry to everyone that put their faith in me, and most of all, I'm sorry for myself, obviously. But I think a lot of people are wondering like why I'm not more upset, and I mean I am, but I think it's more for me it feels a little better when the mistakes are on you, because you can't just be like, I got sacked, and you just won't yap about it, because all your friends also get annoyed by it. They're like, dude, you gotta stop, man. It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's awesome that you're.
But yeah, when you can recognize these mistakes, and in my draw, I came back from Fufu, Riju 6, Dashut, Red Med, Drago. And I almost won that game. So, but again, if I had won that game, my Swiss path would have been totally different, and I might not have been here. So, but I'm taking away these mistakes and going to try to be better. I think my next event will be Anaheim. I'll see everyone.
Hey man, you should.
I'm going back into hibernation.
Don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like you're a really good player. You give yourself. You
guys are all so kind. Yeah, shout out again, everyone, for being so kind.
Dude, ninth at the biggest tournament since SJC Edison is an accomplishment, bro.
Thank you.
You should be proud. Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro.
Thank you guys. And thanks everyone for your support. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, thanks for the deck for great meeting you, bro. I'll hope to see you more later.
Yes, for sure.